Hello, everybody, and welcome to our review of the Delinquent Habits Merry-Go-Round album. So, my name is HSR.
I am your lady friend Bonnie.
And for those of you who are new here, we go through these albums track by track and give our thoughts and opinions about each song, breaking it down, just what sticks out to us. But we think we're no experts or anything. We're just people who have been listening to a lot of albums week over week and learning more as we go. So we want this to be kind of like a growing experience for everyone involved. For those of you who do want to skip the intro bit, you can check the description of the video where you'll see what time we actually start at. But we do
Otherwise we just babble on for like hours and hours.
Well, no, but it could be 3-4 minutes before we actually start, just so you can check. I don't know, depends how it goes. But we love the comments though, because if you guys who probably do know more than us about the act are coming in here and you know you've been listening to Delinquent Habits for a long time and you know all the good stuff, all that shit that Google is not necessarily giving us so easily, because the truth is, unless people actually put it on the internet somewhere and then it actually ranks on Google, it's pretty fucking hard to find things unless you know kind of what you're looking for. So in our experience, the comment section has been like our best friend as terms of getting better at this, in terms of learning and growing. So on that note, we do like to give love to our favorite comment from last week's video, and this time we're not doing it late, so it is last week's video. Yeah.
On track 2019.
And last week we did Young MC's album, and it was Stone Cold Rhyming.
Yeah.
Now, our favorite comment from YouTube is from Super Old School 1994, and he said, I actually never listened to the whole album because I've heard snippets of it and I just wasn't interested. I can get that. At first glance, it's kind of a flashy looking album.
Like, you think that he's only going to be like a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, and then also, this is a more mainstream album that doesn't grace my ears at all, but Bust a Move is a classic banger and the only song that interests me about Young MC. At first, I felt like that, but I gotta admit, in the album, there's some more to it than just mainstream appeal, you know? I don't know if you guys remember, but on Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted, there was a skit there called The Drive-By, where Bust a Move comes on in the car radio and they're about to perform a drive-by shooting in the skit. Can't imagine how much of this song dominated the airwaves in 89-90. It's definitely one of those songs that you had to switch to a station when it comes on because of the heavy rotations. Anyway, you know what's another one? Lollipop by Lil Wayne. I worked at a factory. That shit came on like literally every hour. Anyway, great review, guys. Happy New Year. Thank you. And Happy New Year to you, too.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Looking forward to this year, great content. And we are starting up. It might be a little slow to start, but we're going to be back at it proper with all sorts of more stuff coming. We're going to be doing more reaction videos and shit on a separate channel, so watch for that. It's an announcement in the near future. But yeah, so thanks so much for the comment. It's really fucking awesome. And yeah, it's just one more person actually commented, but this time it was like over on Facebook. And normally, like, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but
Toot toot.
motherfucking Young MC watched the video, and like we woke up yesterday and then Young MC commented, and we both admins on the page on Facebook, so it hits both our phones. And I check, it's actually the Young MC.
Yeah,
the
like
real
we were like,
one.
is this for real? And
he watched the whole thing. And he answered questions.
he spoke to, like, he was like kind of like chatting with us essentially through the comments for like 2 hours. Like,
and like
he was watching the video and responding in real time, and it was like amazing.
And it was just really cool. It was like, I don't know, it was just really amazing to have that experience. So if you do check out over on Behind That Suit on Facebook, it's one of the only times I'll probably plug our Facebook here. But you can see that correspondence with Young MC where he actually answers some questions
he
and
gives
gives some
a lot
perspective.
Of like good like tidbits about like that creation of the album and like just like things about him and like what was going on.
He had no control over the track order, or like he didn't really have a lot of control in this process at all. He was also like a full-time student, and he was like finishing class, going to the studio for midnight, sleeping for like 3 hours back at. And I was like, man, that's some crazy shit. Anyway, just to let you know, I was pretty happy about that, and I thought it would be cool. And for those
definitely
of you who
appreciated like that he actually listened to us, you know, us little people, and that he took the time out of his like day to like speak to us.
Yeah. So anyway, that album came from our patron request. So our special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Brado, Super Old School 1994, and Lindell Williams. Last week was Lindell's patron request for the month of December. That was late. Whoops.
Sorry.
And for January's request is this week's one, and it's coming from Ismail Gadamsi. So we'll talk a bit about that at the end of the video. But thanks to Ismail for supporting us, and this is your request
this is
here.
for you, bro.
So Bonnie, why don't you introduce the album as we start talking about this?
Well, this album came out on June 20th, 2000, and it definitely...
Which album?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Hold up. So yeah, this is definitely a summer sounding out.
It's okay. Keep going.
Goodness gracious. Definitely a summer sounding album. And it is Delinquent Habits Merry-Go-Round. So it definitely, you think of like in June where I grew up, there was always a fair. And so there was always a merry-go-round. So, we were always like let out of school like on that day, and school was canceled when the fair was in town because there was nothing else to do. So, we did that. So it makes me, and it, like just the sound of it sounds very summery. It's a very Latino hip hop. It's and I learned the term Chicano rap, and I was like, well, this definitely sounds like that would fall into this category. So it's definitely that as well. This is the first time I'm learning about that. So it's a cool sounding album.
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't know who Delinquent Habits was because, of course, from the patrons, it's never stuff we've heard of, which is probably part of the fun for me because, honestly, like, previously...
I've had some great discoveries from things that,
like, previously, Ismail had requested Psycho Realm's project, The Psycho Realm, which turns out to be connected to this act. Like freaking, I think Sick Jacket ends up being on this album. So that was cool. So it was almost like they're giving us these albums in particular orders so that as we like get deeper into it.
Sendog worked on some of this, right? Like he produced a bunch of it.
And what's cool is because like I believe Psycho Realm was linked up with Cypress Hill, but also Delinquent Habits started off being backed up, I believe, also by I think it was Sendog at that point who was doing it. I don't know if it was this album. Anyway, so yeah, the fact that they're all connected, it's like really, really cool. And this is a bunch of shit I never would have found out. Like I never would have gone this deep. But because like it's almost what I find fun is like every album seems to like unlock a little bit of context that makes you really appreciate the next album's context. So like I don't know that I would have appreciated this album as much had I not heard the Psycho Realms album. Had we also did a Cypress Hill one on our own. So like having heard all these similar sounding things all coming from kind of a similar area being connected, almost like in like building out a scene and a sound is so fucking interesting is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like, it's inspirational.
The pieces of the rap puzzle are starting to like come together a little bit more, like with every album we listen to. I think it's great.
So, I mean, basically, I think for the album we're talking about at this point, it's Eves, Erie, Chemo, the Blaxican, and I believe the producer's OG Style still at this point. Yeah. It was a little bit hard to trace their history because their page on Wiki and shit isn't so
I was
detailed.
finding things that were not necessarily... like accurate on like different websites. I was finding I seem to have issues when I'm looking up when albums were like released, the dates. Yeah,
because like on Spotify it's put at 2001, but you see on the Wikipedia page it says 1999,
and then I have June 20th 2000.
I mean, I don't know. I know they mentioned 99 at one point on the album, so I think it was
was it made in 1999 and released in 2000?
How about this?
Who knows?
One of y'all who was around when that shit dropped and copped that when it came out, can y'all let us know? Because that would be super cool. Unfortunately, the internet can suck sometimes for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, I love the album cover. It's so colorful. It's got some horses, I think, but like...
Well, it's a merry-go-round.
But they also look like they're decked out with, like, army shit, ready to go, blinged out. Like, that horse has a chain on it and shit, you know? And I feel like there's some swagger to the art style. And it's kind of like something that at first glance you don't necessarily catch it all. But it makes you want to kind of look back. And the more you look at it, the more there's like little Easter eggs in the image that kind of pop out. Like that the sun in the background, it's not really a sun. It's a face with this red nose and shit. And, you know, stuff like that. And I think it's a really cool one. It's like one of those ones where you'd want to like stick it on the wall or some shit because it's really fucking nice to look at. So kudos to the cool ass cover that makes me want to come and check out this fucking merry-go-round. And I love the title because, you know, when you hear merry-go-round, you picture like cycles, repetition, or whatever, but also fun.
And also, I think the merry-go-round, like as much as it does have like that fun, you know, childish, it's a fun thing for whatever. It's a ride. But like it still kind of has like that creepy element a little bit to it, like the music that usually plays and like the like the images that are around it and stuff, at least.
I agree entirely. Like, I mean, it's not quite a merry-go-round, but there's like this giant ass painting next to my desk at my day job, and it's like this creepy, eerie room, and in the middle is just this little merry-go-round like horse, like one of the horses just sitting in the middle of the fucking room, and it looks like a horror scene and like a serial killer is gonna pop out.
Yeah, I don't know why it's creepy, but somehow it is.
So the fact that it's able to mix and create this balance, which is something I think they really want to strike with the lyrics of the album, as we'll get into it, but it makes of fun and danger. And to do so, I believe that they fully pulled that off with both the album title and even the name of their group, Delinquent Habits. It's a fucking great name. It's one of my favorite like group names I think we've come across. Like if I had to pick a top 20, it might make that list. It's really hard to, I've never thought about it before, but I really love Delinquent Habits. It's one of my, like, it's kind of like I wish I'd thought of it,
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, I really like it. I'm ready to talk about it if you are.
Yep, let's get into it.
Let's talk about how Station 13 is the first track of 15.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Eves does the first part and then the Chemo does the second verse, but on the internet, on the Genius page, it didn't specify who did what verse, so you'll have to forgive me, and then y'all can just tell me if you want. Otherwise, it's cool. But why don't you start us off and let us know what you thought of this one?
So first of all, I couldn't find any special like meaning for what Station 13 was or what it meant, but that there was the only thing I could find was that there was a Space Station 13 was a video game, but that's the only thing I could find.
What was the game about?
I don't know.
All right, I'll look at that.
I didn't keep going. And I had to look up, I mean, this song is very, like, all of their songs, as we find out, are heavy, are light, or medium to heavy on the Spanish.
The game came out 2 years after the album. Anyway, go on.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of words that just I miss. And I had to look up what Calais meant, and okay, that's a new one for me. Streets. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So they're out on the streets. And I think that they're rapping about what they're seeing and like the different types of like behavior that's going on, and the people are, the way people are acting, I guess. And I also liked the scratching of like the DJ throughout the album. I really enjoyed that, and like it is definitely like a heavy feature on like most of the songs as well. And I like it. And you'll find this guy basically where all like the drugs are and kind of living like a high life in like the terms. So like they're just like hanging out, doing what they're doing. And I had to look up jefe, which means boss, which, again, I learned, I don't know any Spanish, so I never took any, everything I know is from like Sesame Street. So, so he's just trying to basically live like a kind of like a relaxed and peaceful life, kind of away from the trouble and more just observing the trouble, but not necessarily being involved with it. I thought it was good. I thought it had a good, fun beat. It was well mixed. I liked it, but it wasn't like the hype song, but it was good to listen to, so I gave it a 4.25.
So, like, I just read a book from Rizzo over there on the Wu-Tang, and just I've been thinking a lot about just rhyme construction and just being able to rhyme in general, and I feel like these guys are pretty fucking fantastic at rhyming, and rhyming with flow. And so I feel like that puts them into a certain category where often the song subject takes a secondary nature, I think, to like the actual art of what they're trying to do. But still, they paint this picture. And I like that because that's where I feel like they become like next level. So I wasn't trying to take shots at them. I was trying to imply that that's like my base thought, and then these guys bring it like a step further because they're able to do kind of like what I think the greatest lyricists can do, and that's use ridiculous rhyming, dense poetry, but still paint a picture at the same time. Like, anywhere shake, smoke, great, and the glass scrape. I mean, damn, like that just one line and you're already picturing like, weed smoke going off and broken glass and shit, and one line already starts having your imagination going off. And then for the last bit of resin, you make your head bake, and then you're like, okay, I know what he's talking about. Like when you have got a pile full of roaches and shit, and you gotta make do until your person comes by and you do the gross shit. Is all I'm trying to say. And you're already like picturing all this. Anywhere tigers and dragons, geishas and good herbs, and you're like, whoa. So now you're picturing almost this mystical world of being high in this whole environment where it's almost ethereal and shit. I mean, that's my picturing. Whether or not I'm getting the specifics isn't necessarily the point. The point is that he's able to create this imagery with the words while keeping it all float out in such a ridiculous fucking way. And I'm going to emphasize that a lot right now, but I believe that stands true for virtually every track on the album
true.
in terms of what they're doing. So they flow and they paint pictures and they rhyme on top. And it's like, it's just so, and it's not necessarily 100% specific. So it really just lets your imagination fill in the gaps and almost make it more personal to you. And I think that that is a really great way to take on storytelling. Meanwhile, if you take a look at the beat construction, it is got that really like, it's like this one guy put together this beautiful thing like dun 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 mixed with like all the different drum patterns and etc. And it just flows into something that I think is just so well produced. Like I find like these days beats have a lot of sounds per se, but there's not a lot of depth to them. They're just kind of shallow. They hit you, they put you in a vibe. But this is so deep. Like every time you listen to this beat, like the first 6-7 times at least, it's almost like you're gonna catch on to something new, a little twist here or there that you didn't get. And again, that, I mean, it's the same dude, right? I believe that produced all the beats, so that sounds true for like all of them. And that is some fucked up amazing shit. Like my first thought when I heard this is, why have I never heard this before?
Yeah.
Really, because this is some substantially great fucking rap. And it's like, it keeps going through. Like, that's where you'll find me. Where the Kayes meet the sky, that's where you'll find me. Enter your mind almost high, that's where you'll find me. With segmented beats on time. Station 13, sat mode, volume above 9. Like, I don't really know what the fuck that means entirely, but I can contextualize that they're in their little hood, and that they've got their vibes where the music is popping, maybe they're high as a fucking kite, and they're putting out this kind of vibe and this energy, and it's just a pumping hook. So It's got a hook that's an actual hook, and it's got a ridiculous verse that's like proper, flowing into a second one, like right off the jump. Sure as porno actresses get stuffed and nailed to mattresses. I'm like, okay, that's blunt. I mastered my style so easily you can find me. And I'm like, when I really thought about it, I'm like, so he mastered his style so that he'd be mad dope. So it's a certainty that you can find him, just like it's a certainty that porno actresses get stuffed and nailed to mattresses. You gotta think for a quick second maybe to make the connection, but it actually totally makes fucking sense. And it's really fucking nice. Like, I totally... But I understand Ismail, he likes the lyrical shit like this, and this is fucking cool. Like, I don't think you gotta understand, I like pushed back as far as I could doing this review today, because I listened to each song like 5-6 times.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fun album just to listen to.
Just today, not even before.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I'm just like, so I'm just like hyped up, and I feel like it just flows through. So it paints this picture of drugs, like, but one of my like drugs, I'm like, kind of a rough environment, but it's not just like the dark and gringy. It's not just fucking awful like a nightmare. It's almost like they thrive and they love it. Like they've managed to take this environment and they're just doing them in a way that's fucking working. And so it creates such a different context. Like they're trying to, I guess, be more positive with it or something and be like, hey, it's not all bad, but like with the blunt reality of what the situation is. So it's kind of like, I feel like a slightly different twist on the main message you would normally get, but that makes it kind of stand out. But still, you got fucking ridiculous shit like good girls become filthy when exposed to the right herbs and devices. I'm like, yep, that's true. That sounds like dating between the ages of 18 and 25.
I don't remember any of that time.
I do. I'm the sound that motivates, making her take it where she likes it. And I'm like, okay. And now his music is basically hitting her like drugs and having the same kind of impact on her. Thought you caught a glimpse, mentally pimps. I'm like, oh, fuck, eh? He's kind of showing that all of this is deliberate. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing with their shit. We ain't too far to Imperial 99, get my residual, bumping in the trunk, locate fresh out the boat, nocturnal creature flying high into the noche, fucking Spanish and shit mixed in. Usually the Spanish and shit mixed in appeared to be more of, not the Ives, but the other guys. Sorry, Chemo.
Chemo the Blaxican.
Anyway, so I just fucking liked it a lot. I mean, I could probably go through it like line by line at a later point if y'all really want that shit. But for the summary point, this is a great song that really got my imagination going. It's fun, it's dangerous, it's exciting. It makes you both want to like go to Station 13, but make sure you know one of these guys when you do. I get it's a 4.5. This is an amazing start to an album. Like it was almost like I was totally okay restarting this song, and it was pretty good. I don't know. Did you give it a grade yet?
Yeah, I gave it 4.25.
Okay. I didn't want to skip that and then get called on it, so I want to make sure everybody feels good. Man, it just got better, and apparently my hat was crooked. Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks for pointing it out. No, she did. She's wonderful. Why don't you tell us how you feel about feeling good?
This is like right away you get into it, and it's like it's good. It's it's good. You're like your whole body starts going, and like it has a sick beat. It sounds very cool. I like the little speech at the very beginning. Basically, like as you like. You start listening to it, you're like, wow, I love this song. Like, I mean, at least for me, I did. Yeah, like, it's just so enjoyable. Like, you cannot not, like, love it.
Yeah,
and move to it. Yeah, like, just thinking about it. And, like, it just has, like tight rhymes. And I really like how they sound as well. I picked up on this one. I make you lose control like Sonny Bono, then I'm breaking up your band like Yoko Ono. Ooh. So I thought it was fun. It was, it was
intelligent
cheeky.
As shit.
Yeah. I didn't really know. I looked up what where Sonny Bono lost control, and I couldn't find anything. So
didn't he like?
But he died in.
He was with Cher, right?
Yeah, he was with
Cher.
He
was very bad to her. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it has to do with that.
Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't find exactly what that was supposed to talk about, but I like the references anyways. And the hook is really fun. And it is, came to make you feel good, make you feel real good, bringing love from the hood. Came to make you feel good, make you feel real good, bringing love from the hood. So it's like you just, they're bringing they're bringing love from the hood. Like they're from the hood, but they're not like being violent. They're not really like doing anything. It's just like to make you feel happy and to make you feel loved and like feel like it's great. It's a really fun like feeling, and immediately like I added it to like my favorite playlist. And I felt I was like right away I was like in love with this song, and I really love the message. Like they're not about, like I said, violent life. And they seem to be like a lot more peaceful and just wanting to have a good time. And like, it's a really hype song, and everybody like will kind of like clap along to it, or, and the rhymes are great. Like there's nothing bad about the song. So it's an absolute 5 on 5.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's really cool about them is that not only are you going to get great lyrics and great rhyming, but you're going to get different flows. Now that's something that's really maybe not as common these days. I feel like a lot of people cling to similar flows, and I guess the way music marketing's done now is it's enforced in some way. But man, this is just a drastic shift of like bumping from the other one. However, like it just works next to each other. I mean,
yeah.
The lyrics, same kind of stuff, only instead of maybe painting the landscape of where they're from or the environment, now it's more about them and the kind of like energy they want to bring, and so I don't know who transcribed the lyrics on Genius, but I love that they censored them, and that was amazing. So I just wanted to point that out. So like it says,
and there's some, if you guys are really big fans and you enjoy like adding things to Genius, there's several songs from this album that have no lyrics.
However,
so feel free.
If you want some free IQ, at least 3 of the 4 missing songs are available on another site. So there you go. You can copy and paste, and you get like 40 IQ per song you add or some shit like that. Woot! Genius IQ. Anyway, I don't know, man. I just felt like the energy was fantastic. Like, I'm known to rock shows and go like Jim Mo, Kashrooms, Rock Rooms, Wolf Howl at full moons. If I'm sad, bring blues, life to dead rooms, eyes burnt, their head turned with fear. The three motherfuckers has come to rock right here. And you just get the sense of like this drug-infused, wild out, like music-driven performance of like fucking epicness. Like, oh, we're feeling blue, we're down and about. Fucking throw ourselves into this shit. Let's make it happen. Let's bring the energy.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like it's like you got like maybe some other more militaristic fuck the system type shit, but this feels like a fuck the system type shit, but also make sure to have a good time. And I like that. It's such a different energy than I was expecting.
Make it feel good. Make it feel real good.
I mean, I think this is definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. I really like how they shout out the sixth side, which I believe is the Psycho Realmsville universe. So we hang with six side psychos that's right there, and it ain't gonna be all right. So like, it's cool that they show love like that, but also like make it just fit organically, because right before that, it's like, because we bring cash and flash to city nights, we'd rather puff and play than start fights. So then when they drop the psycho line, they're like already psychos and stuff, and then it's like showing love, but still being a double entendre and being poetic, and not just a empty name drop per se.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to give a lot of love to that. This song's a fucking 5 on 5 to me. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. Mad diabolical with the Spanish flow. I'm getting louder than loud, guaranteed they hear it. I believe Loud's a magazine at that point.
Maybe.
And it's just fucking great, man. Just energy to it, the way that they come, and I do love the Spanish vibe that they bring to it. I mean, I'm a sucker for that shit. I love the accent. I love the fucking overall sound. I mean, I want to visit all of the Spanish-speaking countries in my life. I think it's fucking amazing culture. So when I hear stuff like this, it's just like I'm such a fucking sucker for it. It's a 5 on 5. This song is fucking great. This is, if you wanted to stand out, like almost all of them.
You go listen to this full song and tell me it's not a 5 on 5.
I mean, like, you can still listen to the first one first, but like somehow they managed to one-up themselves, and we're only on track 2, and I think that's fucking impressive is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's check out Return of the Trace.
Yeah.
I had crash and whiplash. City night, bright light, and herb stash.
I feel like a lot of my commentary on this song is very similar to the last one, except that when I said I love that Spanish shit, they cranked that shit right up on this one, and I think it made it sound amazing because, again, the beats have serious depth and serious, like, good sample uses, and like the way everything just flows together. Like, all I'm saying is you got proper headphones, as in those good ones that show the full range, not like some shitty $25 earbuds you bought, whatever. Get a good pair of headphones or a good sound bar or some shit, and you put this on and you listen to it, you're gonna hear some fucking depth to that shit that you won't hear on the shitty ones, and that's what I'm trying to say. Either way, this song is a little harder to follow in terms of the lyrics, because as much as I have a
very Spanish.
Yo hablo un poquito español, but I really just speak a little bit of basic Spanish from like a couple of years in high school. I took Once Upon a Time, and I can read it pretty well, but like I have a lot of trouble like hearing it and following it and just understanding it, you know. Like, I know Es la vida cuatro with veinte pistols pointed, and I don't really know what that means, but es la vida is something to life, cuatro is 4, I don't know what veinte is. So you see how it gets hard. It's not the easiest thing in the world for me to do. Thankfully, there was a fine YouTube comment telling me about DeepL Translator, which did help with some of the other verses to get it. It's better than Google Translate, because Google Translate's like a good universal one, but like every language has one that's better for it. Anyway, so overall, I thought it was really fun to listen to. I really like the way Spanish sounds when it's rapped. I'm a sucker for that shit, like I said, but there's some really like cool lines that I think just stand out. So what I like about these guys is that their cultural influences that they're referencing are broader and wider than just unexpected in some cases. Like, honestly, that Yoko Ono line was pretty fucking interesting, but also was gas to the pedal like metal at a Korn show. And I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty heavy scenario. Like, Korn's not exactly known for being a soft and pansy show at this time. They're fucking hard, at least a pretty hard show in terms of that shit, you know? Plus, they tune way the fuck down, so everything's heavy. Anyway, I thought that was a really fucking cool line there. Grab the mic and freak the rhythm till there's no more vavas. Still me palabras, fade all boos and ha-has. No idea what the fuck that means, to be honest with you. I have a general sense that he's rocking the mic and making ladies move or some shit, but it just sounds amazing. And that's, I think, the thing that I like about this is that it's not one of those albums where you have to know what they're saying to really enjoy the songs, because the overall beat is just so done. They rap so fucking well, and they're rhyming regardless, just rhyming and flowing in such a way where their voices are like a fine-tuned instrument.
Because they speak like both languages, English and Spanish, like they don't just necessarily stick to like here's a line in Spanish, here's a line in English, like, or like, here's a verse. Like, it's very like kind of flowing in and out, pick and choose your words sometimes. Like, sometimes like the verse is more heavily Spanish, but there's like English words kind of flowing through, so you kind of get the gist of it.
And it's almost like they're thinking bilingual on this one, which is cool. And I know that the tres has to do with like how they were used to be known as the tres something or another, like tres delinquents or however it is, 3. It makes total sense. And there's 3 of them at this point. I don't know. I thought this was a really fun song and great to listen to. I gave it a 4.5 because unfortunately I don't understand it in full, so I don't want to be committing no 5s to songs I don't fully understand. However, the sound of it is fucking great, and honestly, like, we're 3 songs in and my mind is fucking blowing for the quality of this album.
Yeah. I mean, I basically, said a lot of the same things. Like, this one, like, I definitely, like, wrote down, I'm like, well, I don't speak Spanish, so please forgive me for, like, a lot of things going over my head on this one. But I did translate, like, what I thought would be, like, the relevant, lines or words or whatever. And it definitely sounds more Spanish, but, like, not even just, like, it just sounds more culturally so. Like, it just sounds, and more traditionally so. It definitely sounds like I'm in Mexico and there's like a mariachi band around, or like, whatever. It just sounds like it sounds traditionally Mexican, I think, and it's great. It's really enjoyable. It's fun, and they're just kind of talking about that they are having fun and they're getting high, as they seem to, and they're doing what they love, and they, one of them, he said, don't be afraid of Blaxican's weapons. It's not a gun. It's just like his rhymes. Like, he's just gonna like hit you with like the music. And for anybody who knows Cat Empire, this definitely has like reminded me of them and like their kind of sound.
Okay.
And it is like a little bit ska-y a little bit, but like it is also like the trumpet and the instruments and like mixed with the like the DJ, like this, like the scratching and like it just sounds like digital and traditional instruments at the same time, and it's a really cool mix. So that's kind of why it reminded me of them. If you guys know them or if you want to check them out, go check out the Cat Empire. They're great. And I really loved it. They had a really like high energy sound on this, high energy. Like, it just sounded fun to listen to. And I very much enjoyed it. Nothing bad really to say about this either, minus the fact that I didn't really understand half of it. So I gave it a 4.75.
All right. Why don't we talk about Boulevard Star?
Okay.
All right, Bonnie, what about this one? Okay, before you do.
Here we have Michelle Belle.
Doesn't it kind of sound like she's doing the Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Yes, it sounds just like that. And it's kind of annoying because it's the same beat and it sounds the same, but it's like she just doesn't know the lyrics. So it's like that's what it just kind of got on my nerves a little bit. But I think from what she's saying is what is she saying? Boule, 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 rock star, you are Mr. But like she's forgetting the Vard in Boulevard, and I don't know. It sounded cool, but it was kind of annoying.
I did not feel it was that annoying.
Okay. But this is like another like hyped up beat. It's high energy. And Chemo does a verse where it's like genuinely sounds like he's only speaking Spanish, but really half of it is English. And I think it's really cool that he's got like, he can go so Spanish that even when he's speaking English, he sounds very Spanish. I think that's kind of cool, and it kind of works into like the sound of the song.
It's that Boulevard Star lingo, the street sound.
There we go.
Just to quote the man himself.
Yeah, exactly. And again, he's drinking, he's smoking, he's having a good time, and they just want to be known as Boulevard Stars. And again, I was kind of missing out on some of like what they're trying to say here because there's a lot of Spanish, but it was still like a very good song to listen to. That's pretty much all I have to say about this one. So I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I feel like this one is very almost similar to the last one, couple, because a lot of their songs appear to just be kind of flossing who they are and what they're doing. But who they are and what they're doing is different enough that it's fucking interesting. I mean, so check it. I'll be remembered in the hearts of the riders, West and East Siders. Aight, that sounds kind of standard. Not bad, standard. Known to take a nug, pack bowl, and light lighter. Fair enough. That's still standard, but okay, we cool. I'm enjoying it. Great rhyming. It sounds perfect. Ready to bid love, peace, and all's well. Wait, what the fuck did he just say? So he's about to get high and then like share love with the fucking world. Damn, that is not a message we get a lot on this channel in terms of the music we're getting. It doesn't take away from whatever. It's just, it's
These are
so
just like nice guys
cool.
you want to hang out with.
We're putting words to a bass line, knowing with the spells, some mix of world treasures and worthless trash, silver that brightly gleam in a lightning flash. So it's almost like they just are able to see all of these silver linings in life, and as much as the environment is shitty and all of this, they're able to sculpt this beautiful situation out of it. And so I think,
And maybe it's also like their culture, or like something about like the, you know, like maybe the other like Mexican or like Latino people around, and it's just like that friendly, like, you know, we're here together, but we're away from like, you know, our home, but we're here now and we're making the best of it, kind of like feeling of it.
But even then, like even in the first verse, it's not like the nicest, because, you know, I want to be remembered as a Boulevard star. And again, this is Eves who did the first and third verse. So every day I walk shadowed by cell bars, hustle was hard to mouth and chance cards, everything move all around the street sound. And so it's kind of got like this sense where he's got this pulse to the streets and the gritty environment around him, and his music is just taking that and passing it on through, but with this almost filter of making it more positive. And I still think it's really fucking cool. I don't have a lot more commentary to add. It's another 4.5. It's just as fucking good. The beat is different, but fits really proper and is just as well made. And, you know, I did want to point out at some point, I think this is as good as time as any, but we're at a point where most new albums are often made where virtually every song has a different producer, and then often the ones that do have the same producer are guys like Metro Boomin, who like all their beats kind of sound the same. They're pretty hype, but they all kind of sound the same, so you're not like getting a lot of crazy versatility there. You're just getting trending sounds a lot. But like when you take a group like this where they have an in-house DJ or beat maker or whatever, and they spent all this time working with the same person, it's like everybody gets to know the styles and it really evolves in it. And I really think that's something that hip-hop needs, is these groups where the producers are absolutely a part of it. A good example of one now is Brockhampton. The fact that they have their in-house producers and they all work together and it's always the same squad and shit, I think it really creates a style, and I think that's what this is allowed them to do here. And it's because there's just the same three dudes banging it out over and over again. They're able to craft something almost like a band would do. There's multiple minds creating the project, as opposed to it just being like, yo, this is the rapper and he copped that beat from that dude and made, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so it's really fucking cool. And
let's go on a midnight spin.
Yeah. Man, I like this beat better than the last line. It's like somehow they managed to keep coming at it, and this one is different. I feel like it's got a slower vibe to it.
Yeah,
it's got like a different feel, and they're flossing like a less bouncy flow. It's a little more of a smooth, calmer, story-driven kind of feel to it. You know, I don't know. I'm just so impressed by their versatility. But rather than having me talk and stealing all the words, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, so we have this song is also featuring Sick Jackin.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
You do know him. He's from a Psycho Realm.
Oh, I do know him.
He's the one that isn't the deep voice Spanish, the more be really sounding one.
My bad. So yeah. Anyways, there we go. There more information for me. So they're just kind of like saying that they're rock stars, that they've kind of like made it. And I think this is about like you can kind of like make like I feel like that they kind of say that there's like you have like that decision to make, whether you want to like fuck around or whether you want to like make the decision to do something better and like be wiser than kind of what life is expecting out of you.
Right.
Which is pretty interesting. Like it's a kind of cool way to say like, you know, like you can do it too, or you know you don't have to like just fall into the same shitty path as, you know, people would assume you to do or to take. So they're like midnight rides with their friends, and they're all stars, and they're, you know, kind of living it up, and they're kind of free to do whatever they want, and they're doing something to like themselves instead of like just to like other people. They're not trying to be violent to others. Like they're just like they're getting tattoos, they're getting drunk, they're getting high, they're like being wild, but they're having fun and they're like doing it in like a more like safe way. And I think that that's great, but they like are also kind of saying that they still kind of are having encounters with the cops. So like assumably like not everything is like, you know, on the legal side of things or whatever. And like I don't think they're trying to be like I don't think they're saying that they're perfect, you know, but they're trying to be smart while still kind of like being from the hood, you know. So I think that that's kind of an interesting thing to talk about, and it's a less common topic, I think, for sure. And it's a bit more real, but it still kind of has like an interesting vibe that keeps you like hooked with it as well. Yeah, I give this a 4.25. I liked it, but it just wasn't as hype as the other ones.
I don't know, man. I fucking dig the vibe. Like, I was thinking, like, so many people in the mumbly side of rap, or the auto-tuning, I should say, are calling themselves rock stars now. And then I was thinking about Chemo here, and he goes, exceed the limit, forget it, the man don't want to hear it. He says, let's go, but I'm late. I gotta rock a show, I'm gone. Play me a song, Mr. Piano Man, which is I think it's Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Right? That's rock. Eyes gleam bright gems from ancient lands. We hot like desert sands. We rock like rock bands. They live in scared city. Sunset make them look pretty. Trying to shine, lead the blind through the Sahara twilight. Cross a line in the dirt, chokehold on the mic. And I'm like, that kind of sounded like a lot cooler way of describing himself as a rock star and pushing the limits and doing crazy shit internationally and stuff. And I just had to give a lot of credit to Chemo there because I think that's the coolest way I've ever heard a rapper describe themselves as a rock star before. So props. That's fucking intricate and well put together. And yeah, anyway, I don't know. I mean, Eves and Sick Jacking kind of come through with the same styled things. Nothing on their verses really struck out quite as substantially to me. It was really great to listen to it. I think Sick Jacking sounds fucking fantastic next to these two, and I mean, it makes total sense. They're all extremely talented for this whole realm of, I guess, story-driven, painting pictures, styled, lyrical rap. I think that both groups did this extremely well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, this goes really well next to the second round. Anyway, I dug this one even more. I feel like the beat was really cool, and like, you know, just that chorus. So take a midnight spin, calling you from within, put some ink in your skin, city light brings sin. You know, like, just go out there and get up to some shit and end up with a tattoo and some crap going on, you know, like storytelling. I mean, tattoo is just an art of storytelling, so in a sense a song can kind of be viewed as a tattoo in a sense, even, you know, like, okay, I don't know, I'm just kind of running with it there, but I gave this a 4.75. I really thought it was fucking great. Anyway, this album is not necessarily one of a kind, but it's like a great the kind.
Turn it up and make it real, man. Turn all frowns to smiles.
All right, Bonnie, your turn.
Well, this one definitely sounds spookier.
What is a sample?
I couldn't figure it out. I can't think of it, but if you listen to it and you know it, is it like
whatever the fuck that is?
What is that? Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I can't get to it.
But I know what it is.
It's like,
anyway, that's what they sampled.
Whatever it is. Anyways, so that's what they use, and it is kind of like creepy and spooky because it kind of gives you like that kind of Halloween-y vibe. And then there's a lot more like Spanish mixed in as well, or as usual. Yeah. And they're from, you know, kind of saying that they're from like sunny California, and they're riding high, and they're having fun, and they're making music that you're gonna love. And there's really not much more to say really about this one. Like I just really like the beat that they used, and it's fun to listen to. So I give it a 4.25.
Yeah, I mean, with the beat coming in, it sounds like it shouldn't work, but it just does. They managed to hit it up, and like it's just such a weird sample choice. But then with the drum loops and everything under it, it just vibes. And they start rapping over it, and you're like, okay. I mean, somebody said there was bud here. I'm kind of broke, so I hope they're spreading love here. And I'm like, damn, that's a relatable, interesting way to start that line off. And it's like, this isn't just this rich, braggadocious, I'm the best motherfucker. He's just a guy who has put out a whole bunch of love, and he starts this one off in a different place. Like, yeah, I'm kind of broke. I hope now y'all going to return that love that I put out.
Yeah.
But then
he's hoping you buy the album.
You know that if I had some herbals, you know that I would share. Ring the bells of Beijing and take you there. Oh yeah, and, like I love the idea of this Beijing thing. I mean, they got a song to it later on, but like the fact that they have this mythos and this like deeper meanings to their shit that makes total sense to them. So in their mind, getting high and going off to this like mythical place or whatever, or however they perceive China to be, I guess. I'm like,
Or just Beijing.
yeah, and like, started with a rickshaw pulled by 6 women, and I could picture that. I mean, I've been in a rickshaw before. It's kind of, a little fucking carriage thing, and then instead of a donkey or horses, you got women doing it. So they're just kind of painting out this shit in their little
It doesn't have to be women, but it's,
He says women. That's what he wants.
I know, yes. I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be.
Bonnie's will have a bunch of Scottish guys in kilts who throw logs and shit.
What can I say? They're hot.
And I don't know. Anyway, and it just kind of flows through, and I like the way the Spanish blends really well with it. Unfortunately, again, I don't really understand all of the Spanish, so it's fine. But overall, I just feel like this is a really cool song to listen to. And when they go, we got the stuff you want and want real bad, the kind of stuff if your mama turned it off and make you real mad, the kind of stuff that turns all frowns to smiles, the kind that turns the seats to full aisles. I'm like, a lot of people could make some claims like that, but in this case, I agree with him. If my mom turned this shit off, I'd be a little bit grumpy with her. If Bonnie tried to turn this off, I'd be grumpy with her. In general, this is a hype-ass fucking song. I don't need to fully understand it just because listening to these guys rhyme over this beat, flow the way that they do, it's just really delightful. Unfortunately, again, I don't fully understand it, so I gave it a 4.5 on 5, but it's so good to listen to.
Yep.
Anyway, it's time for a title track with...
Let's go on the merry-go-round.
This one sounds like they got really fucking high before they started it. But
Maybe that's it.
and like it just like also I feel like in this case the voices are a little bit deeper into the mix than we're used to, so it was a little bit harder to hear them. But also the lyrics weren't out on this one, so it was a little bit harder for me to read along because I had to really like listen, and so I didn't quote as much shit. That's just what it is. But I really liked when he was like, while these other vatos are busting and acting stupid, me, I hit the stage and passed love like I was Cupid. And again, it's like...
I love that. Thank you.
Like the idea that as much as... Like life is a merry-go-round, merry-go-round. I love that sound. And it's just the idea of maybe trying to have that twisted darkness, but have that positive side to it, that mix or whatever that they're going for. Mm-hmm. Plus, you kind of get the idea that Mary might be Mary Jane going around.
I didn't even think of that. That's a great observation.
Everybody's getting a little bit high, and it kind of creates a more loving atmosphere. And if these guys are big potheads, it kind of makes sense that maybe they'd be a little more on the loving side of things. But I really like the lovely sense of serenity here on this song amidst some of the more rougher stuff. Like in that second verse, there's a lot of references to like lotus flowers or planting seeds or growth or creation and things, And then there's some really like fucking...
It sounds like they probably get high and meditate a little bit if they're talking about like lotus flowers. Like that just makes me think of like, Buddha and, which they were smoking and, whatever else. And like, lotus flowers just makes me think of like calm, tranquil.
Yeah. And then, honestly, like it has this really cool sounds in the beat in the third verse that change it up just a little bit. I don't have a lot more to like say about it, but again, it consistently flows through. It kind of goes on that slower pace. I think it sounds really beautiful. It's really fun to listen to. It's great on this album. It's a good like almost halfway point, kind of change it up a little bit sound so that it's not just so maybe harsh, and it's on the softer side of things is not what we're approaching in the middle I see. So I give it another 4.5 because production's excellent. The overall sound and flows are excellent. And again, I don't fully catch every lyric, so it's hard for me to call it a 5. But like, damn, the overall sound is really fucking good.
Yeah. I don't really have too much else to say besides what you kind of mentioned. They want to make you feel good with their music. That's kind of what they're about. And there's a lot going on with this beat. But it still sounds really cool, and it sounds a little bit trippy at the same time. Like, they're probably very high. And this one was a bit weird, but you still kind of get like hypnotized and you get kind of sucked into like the sound, and like it's less about listening to the lyrics and more just about listening to the sound of it and kind of letting it take you away.
Right.
I think that's kind of what I got from it. Like, it didn't really like have much more of a meaning other than just sort of like an escape and like a way to like kind of float away. So I mean, it works because that's what I think it's, you know, intended to do. So I gave it a 4.25. Yeah, I liked it.
All right, so the next one is Que Vuelva. So again, the beat's ridiculous. This one, we have that Michelle lady who was actually, I think, on the Boulevard Star song.
Yeah.
And appears again on the last song
Michelle
of the
Belle.
album. She does most of this. She just sings this song about, and from what I translated, it's like she's coming back to be with him and whatever. And I believe I translated Que Vuelva, and y'all can correct me, but I think it means to come back. So it's kind of like she's coming back to him. And then like 4 minutes and change into the song, Eves does like 25 seconds of rapping at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of all about, like, all lovey and shit, like a little bit of macking kind of game, but like in a nice romantic kind of way. But it's just that it ends on a really powerful sentiment. And it's just him repeating, because I choose to let love move in, now move on. I choose to let love move in, now move on. And I was thinking about that. That is like an interesting sentiment where at the end of the day, you can tell maybe his heart was darker once upon a time. And I guess that's where I'm at, because my heart used to be darker. And then you have to actively choose to let love and empathy into your life. I threw in empathy. But I feel like that's what he did here, and he's trying to emphasize it. Like, maybe some people are going to make fun of him or try to comment on how it's not a way to be. And he's saying, you know what, I choose to make this happen. I made that choice. You know, move on. Fuck off. It's not really your business even, you know. This is what I'm putting out. I really like that. She sounds really lovely. It's not whatever. I mean, it's beautiful sounding. The beat's amazing. Like, it really works on this project. I mean, I give it a 4.5 on 5 because I think it's really great to listen to. I'm less inclined to want to go seek this one out on its own, but while listening to the album, it's almost like I don't want to hear it without hearing the song at some point, because I did just loop this again and again and listen to it, and it's just, all of these songs are so fucking well put together. And big love to the production on this one, because again, it stands out. This one feels like a love song, like a darker love song, but it still feels like a love song, which you're just not expecting to happen. And that's how I could introduce it at the beginning. So I don't know, man. I go to 4.5. Really cool song.
Yeah, I mean, this one is definitely for the lovers, and you know, it kind of gives you that vibe, and it's pretty much all Spanish. So like, I didn't really get most of it, unfortunately. And this is, you know, and the girl is Michelle Belle. She's singing. And it, for me, like, it felt a little bit out of place on, like, this album. Like, but, like, I still, like, I get where he's coming from, and I get that, you know, he's, you know, he likes, you know, it's fun to mix up different sounds and whatever. And it still kind of has that Spanish feeling, obviously. But, I don't know. It just felt like a little bit like weird for me. I wasn't really a big fan. And then, you know, he comes in at the end for like the last like 20 seconds or whatever. And I feel like it just wasn't enough for me. Like, I wanted more of him, and I didn't want it to just like be at the end. It just didn't make up for it. And it's not a short song either. So it's like 4 minutes, 18 seconds. So it kind of dragged on. It felt long, this one, at least for me, did anyways. I kind of wanted to skip over it, unfortunately. Like, it's good and whatever, but like, it just wasn't for me. I don't really like these kind of girl songs. I don't like in English or whatever either. So I gave it a 3.5. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Next one, though, is the Sick Side Drop.
The stuff they pumping 6 deuces in Cadillac. The type of stuff that even if you ain't smoking, it's all that.
So this one goes out to Big Duke and Sick Jacket, right? Mm-hmm. This is like their like shout out love song to the people who helped them get to where they are. I feel like literally they name drop the relevant people, show love to the culture a bit, you know, like with the type of stuff they bump in 6 deuces and Cadillacs, you know, the type of stuff they, even if you ain't smoking, it's all that. And I gotta give them credit. This far into the album, they can make that claim, and it's real. They're not like one of the fake dudes. That shit's proper. I respect it. But in general, each one of the dudes drops a verse that almost feels like they're kind of remembering the old days and they're appreciating how they're here where they are now and stuff like, we down to help be real, keep the world stoned. That's why smoke spit up out of Boca and Cloud Zone. I had a dream that it help with the ozone and also relieve me tension when I'm not home. You know, so it's like they're out there and they're just kind of rolling with these guys. And I mean, maybe it's not your dream that the whole world gets stoned, but perhaps if a lot more people smoked pot and drank less, there'd be a lot more violence in the world. Is something that I might believe it to be true. In general, I again feel like Chemo does the same kind of thing. Like they just kind of remember, and then it seems like through weed and love, they've gotten to better places in their lives. And all things considered, this one felt the most like filler on the album to me. Like it felt like the most it had to be there because it just feels like a show loves to their people song, which in all fairness is something that like makes sense for them to do in light of the approach that they've taken by preaching to show love. So it's like by not showing love to the people who have clearly helped them, Cypress Hill, Psycho Realm, all these guys who might be a little bit bigger or not bigger, I don't fucking know, but definitely Cypress Hill was bigger, to like get them to that point. Like it's necessary, but overall I felt like it was a little sillier, a little simpler, and a little less interesting than the other ones, but still really well made. So this might get the lowest mark I've given so far with a 4.25 because it's still fucking better than most of the music that's out there. Like I'm a sucker for this sound, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say about it besides kind of what you mentioned. You know, I do like the fact that I've had a dream that weed smoke was good for the ozone. So I think I appreciate that he's thinking about, you know, like the environment and, you know, things like that. It's basically, it's a catchy beat. It's basically a weed song. But it has like a little bit more meaning than just a weed song, like because they're, you know, they're talking about their friends and they're thanking people and, you know, they're shouting people out, and I like that. So I also gave it a 4.25. It was good, and I didn't want to skip over it like the last song, so I think this one's better.
I feel like it's weird that we gave the same grade, but you're like, yeah, this is a good mark, and I'm like, this is the lowest one. Anyway, let's go explore Beijing.
Okay.
Open to the motion, hoping to cope what I'm smoking. Sick man of Asia, let the urban.
All right, Bonnie, I think you should walk us through this drugged out tale of their utopia.
No, it's on you. You've got a lot more details, I'm sure.
I don't have that many. I mean, the way I took it is they're picturing this place, Beijing, whether it's actually the real Beijing or this mystical place where they can get high without persecution and everything's kind of crazy fun. That's kind of like, you know, what I really took from this. Enjoy your feast and drink and slaughter beast of marble with linen, creased and pieced with gold leaf, your mood enhanced with wine and song and dance and story of ancient bands with horns and with horns out the hands, and ain't no doubt about it, they let you puff on herbal stimulation, have you gone like heron. And I think it's trying to point out how other cultures maybe treat drugs differently, and that was kind of the point of it. I mean, I maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like it's just like you just go on this journey on this song, and like you just almost feel like you had some nice ass weed tea or some shit, and you're floating and you're listening to it, and you're just enjoying this like dope experience, a little ethereal, you know. And you know, you get the sense that this is maybe a little bit more fantasy, like almost like the Wu-Tang Shaolin world universe, you know, a little bit like their escape or what they've created, which I think is super cool from like a lore perspective. But yeah, there's a lot of examples of history where drugs have done some interesting things. Like, people don't want to ever admit it. I don't know, dudes like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs dropped acid and we got computers. Like,
there you go.
Just throwing it out there. Some people have done some seriously interesting things under the influence of narcotics and see the world differently after. So
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of artists out there that, you know, they were high or something.
I don't know. I mean, I just got the feeling that, I guess, especially at this time, if you want to smoke pot back in LA, you're probably going to jail if you get caught. So in light of the pre-legalized world, legalization in Quebec is not real legalization. They're fucking awful people here. But like in general, like, I could see the need. It's almost like this weird protesty song, but done through a imagine if kind of way. I thought it was really fun, really cool to listen to, right back up to where I want to be on this album. And I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like another sick beat. I think we're back to like, having like, I like this. This is like another hyped up kind of a song. It's definitely about getting high, and kind of letting your mind escape and go to like a new place. And like, I don't know if they actually have traveled to Beijing or if they are just, like when they get high, they call that "let's go to Beijing," and they just get high. It's kind of like a code word for it or something. And they call it Buddha, and then it makes you have like some features that are more relevant or prevalent, I guess, in Asian looks. If you know what I mean.
You roll with this one.
I feel like I don't know how to say it in like a way that's not going to make me sound like a racist. So that's as good as it's going to get. Figure it out from that. And yeah, maybe they went to like Asia and got high and they were just like inspired by that or something. Or they went to Beijing and like they just were tripping out. Maybe because like, in like Tokyo and well, that's Japan, but I haven't been to I've been to Japan. I haven't been to China, but like it's very, there's lots of lights and stuff like that. So it's also like maybe like, a trippy a little bit as well when you're high and you're out in Beijing or whatever. So I liked it. It has a cool flow. It's a weed song. I think that's pretty much what it is. I gave it a 4.5.
All right, why don't we move on to one called No Sense, which is almost like nonsense. And if you think about the word nonsense, it's really saying you have no sense.
I try making dollars, but I'm still so tense that I see eyes getting deep over the fence. I'm there right.
We got to talk about the rhythm on the beat of this beat. And like the pure syncopation going on, because like that drum pattern and that like guitar-y thing are like, they don't sound like they're synced up properly. Like everything sounds off, but it's not. It's just a syncopated rhythm where things are like off but done on purpose, and it's really fucking cool. And the way that they can play with rhythms like that and then have the rappers still be on beat, because it's basically like they're finding a new. Normally, like, your beat has, like, a comfy groove. This beat has two separate rhythms playing, so the groove that they had to find is even doubly challenging, all things considered. So that's really fucking cool. And this is some dark-ass shit. It's like they're like looking at the world that they've lived in and how they were, and maybe, through the eyes of a child, the world is seen clearly. I like how it fucking starts, like, so when you think about how a kid sees the world and how they see you and your actions and how you're living, perhaps it's a more pure way to look at shit. I don't know, man, and it should be pure. Are you feeling me? I had it all for a moment in time, but looking back on my laughter, it made me want to cry. And again, it's like they come from a darker place in their lives. They were doing worse things, but then they grew up and embraced this new way of living, which is what they're selling forth, For the pain that I caused and trust I broke, too much wine and song and not enough home. I aspire for more than gin tonic and whores. Tears get shedded, neighborhood most dreaded, etc. And I really appreciate that, because if you look at our modern day hip hop culture, that's really loved. People love alcohol and whores. They don't call them whores, they call them bitches or whatever. But usually the transaction,
video girls.
The transaction is, here's money, suck my dick. So it's just expensive whores. Like, it's literally really overpaying for whores is often what rappers do. So it's fucking weird. But I love the fact that he kind of puts it so bluntly and just kind of talks about like moving on and shit. And then the second verse kind of follows suit and just kind of paints the picture a little bit further. Can you hear the cry of all these kids in the street who want to die? Kids that kind of click up and act fly till there's no one left to cry, then ask why. Oh, fuck, eh?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of kids who want to die. Everyone's wilding out. Nobody's happy until everyone's fucking dead and there's no one left to even be unhappy. It's a real shit. It's like completely different tone than, say, the middle part of this album with the lovey shit, but I really think that the combination of the ridiculous rhythm patterns, the heavy tones, the overall sounds of this, it's a beautiful fucking song. I gave this a 4.5 on 5. It's really, really fucking cool, and I would recommend this one.
Yeah, I mean, this one definitely sounds sounds more sad and a little bit more real, kind of what he's talking about. I liked the Spanish guitar that was like featured on this one. It was enjoyable to listen to. It is just sort of like they're trying to make money. They're trying to like do what they can to succeed, but like life kind of doesn't make sense, and he's kind of pointing out some issues. And like there's innocent children, and he was an innocent child, and he got corrupted, and the streets corrupt people, and it's just like these, a lot of these issues, and it's not always easy to make the right choices and to change and do the right thing. So yeah, I mean, it was like, a little bit more depressing, I guess, than the other ones, but it was still good. I give this a 4 on 5.
All right, so as we move into the final four, we can talk about Southern accent. So if I understand correctly, the nuance of this track is they've gone around the world, and no matter where they go, everybody loves their Southern accent. In general, I mean, that would be like the song in a nutshell, cutting out all of the rhyming and skills. And it's really a cool general idea that, and especially if you consider that they're coming from a place that probably has heavy racism, where their accent itself, their Southern accent, gets them in a lot of, like, I'm assuming Latin America, kind of southern than the U.S.
Well, they're like Mexican.
Yeah.
Like they're Mexican Americans, right? I think that's what they are.
Yeah, so southern than South in the States South. And like, yeah, like you get the sense that in general this could be perceived by some as a bad thing, but when they leave America and they go around the world and they do their tours and stuff, they're finding that they just get love everywhere that they go. And that's really fucking cool. I mean, it's got some like fucking cool lines like, why don't you listen if you trip and I ain't babbling high? Of course I know enough because people count on me. I've worn Adidas on the same stage as DMC. I smoked nugs, flow, and magic rugs hung with thugs. And then I'm like, damn, that's like a really fucking cool idea. Like that he's gotten to a point where he's been able to wear Adidas on the same stages that DMC rocked at a certain point. Again, adhering to showing love and knowledge of the culture while also showing their success and shit. And they just kind of flow on through and just name drop different places they've been and the overall love that they get. And I feel like it's a really cool song. I liked it a little bit less than some of the other ones, and I give it a 4.35, but I really also appreciate what they're doing, and they're kind of showing that love is actually out there around the world, and maybe that the hate that exists here isn't a universal thing, because I do think that people on this side of the pond in our little North American continent tend to forget that there's a lot more people not on this continent that maybe have different philosophies than us. Anyway.
Yep, very true. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like a little bit more like Cypress Hill. This one I found like just something about like something about it just sounded a little bit more Cypress Hilly. And they're still having fun and they're performing around the world and everyone loves their accent and and why not, like, and it sounds enjoyable. So they're living it up, and this song was a little bit less hype than some of the other ones, but it's still good. I give this a 4 on 5.
All right, the next one is House of the Rising Drum. From like a song content point of view, I don't think we're getting a lot new here. The Rising Drum, dope ass beats, and they rap well. That's fine. From a beat perspective, though, the scratching is ridiculous. I know you like that shit, but like it's ridiculous. The overall beat has some life to it. You're back to bumping, but the flow is more of that fast-paced, kind of punchy, makes you want to get up and kind of move feel to it. So I do feel that this was a necessary life-breathing song. The last couple have been a little slower, a little less pumpy, so it's good. We're getting back into this groove again.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've reached back into the perfect part of the album. Overall, they do a great job bouncing back and forth. I don't have a lot to really add to this one. I don't think any of the lyrics really struck out with me as something overly substantial. It's just, I really did enjoy the way he was rhyming and the overall flow when he's like, with hype tones, my mind roam the ozone when I'm on the stage knowing the flow zone. I don't know what about that particular, maybe it was just the overuse of that particular rhyme, but how he rapped it and how he hit that flow I thought was particularly dope. And yeah, I give this another 4.5. I don't just want to jibber jabber for nothing. I thought it was really cool and as good as most songs on this album.
Yep. I wanted to also mention that this song was featured on Tony Hawk Pro Skater number 4. So that's probably
I probably heard it then.
Yeah, I mean it's probably somewhere in your noggin if you ever played that video game. And there's kind of a lot going on with the sound of this song. Like it sounds kind of like the beat has ADD. Like there's just a lot of back and forth, different sounds, and it's really like interesting to listen to, and it's more just like how they're gonna hit you with that sound, like, and how you're going to like take it, and I can see being useful in like a skateboarding show or something. Like, it sounds cool. And it's well constructed and it flows well. There's a lot going on, but I still liked it. I gave this a 4.4 because it's not quite a 4.5.
I don't agree with her. Anyway, all time, anytime, all time, all the one, whatever. I don't care.
Anytime, all time.
You know what I was trying to say, people.
Anytime, all time, this world forever my song will remain strong, we blow through it. Anytime, all
I feel like this one is really similar again in terms of stuff, except that we got some police references and shit, which kind of I don't know if they have previously on the album, but it was more noticeable here. Like, come on, let me reveal y'all. I ain't toting a shank or blue steel, y'all. I ain't toting no hate or ill will for all those offers. Say thanks, but no deal. Please, officer. That's pretty dope. Offers, say please, officer. You know, like, pretty dope manipulation of words. I'm cool behind the wheel, so please no flash on your lights and don't squeal. You know, like, don't racially profile him for being a Latino with a bunch of tattoos and shit. Be cool. Don't be a fucking asshole. And it kind of flows on through with kind of that kind of tone of just they're legitimate. They're trying to. It reminds me a bit of Fun by Vince Staples that just dropped, where it's like they're just trying to have a good time. I want to fuck shit up, but the reality is so dark and twisted that a lot of bad things are happening. And in general, they're like, just be cool with the situation. Why does everything have to go in a certain way? It's just there's a lot of, I don't have a lot more to really add to that. I think in general, I like this as much as I like the last one. The beat's as bumpy and really fun as the last one. Like, you really just can't help but move. You can almost picture cars bouncing to this one a little bit more. And I gave it a 4.5. It's fucking consistently strong, and I really enjoy listening to it.
All right. I don't know. Maybe it seems like you took away more than I did on this one. And like they also say that like to sing along with this song, but like it's not as easy as you think because I don't really know the lyrics. And it's still a good song. But like I just didn't feel like I was connecting with this one very much. And I maybe like I just missed out on like what they were trying to say.
There's also like parts where they're like, now we've made it. People didn't necessarily believe in us. Beats and rhymes more tight than the lyrics were just on a different site than Genius.
Yeah.
You should always double check.
No, I do.
Anyway, so but like it's pretty. Yeah, go on.
So yeah, for me, like this one was good. It wasn't my favorite. Like I didn't really like I understood what they were saying, but like I didn't really get like a good message out of there. But I know there is one, but it's a 4 on 5.
I just feel like it's the same core message they've been delivering, but using slightly different specifics and whatever. It's not like anything terribly different. But yeah, it's a pretty good song. However, the last one does have a little bit more of a clear topic, and it's pretty self-evident with the title being Temptation.
Okay. Like when I was like reviewing this, like maybe like I was just like tired of the sound, but there's something about the end of this album that just doesn't have like the same energy as the beginning of the album. Like it definitely sounds kind of like a side B, like the last like few songs. I think they're still good songs, but they're not the best songs which were at the beginning. I found at least. But there's, like I said, they're still good. They're just not hits.
I do believe that album fatigue is real, and when you review an album, you're often not just listening to it. So you by the time you get to that last song, you probably put 3 times the amount of time into it that like your average person would just on a playthrough. Just some context out there.
Maybe that's what it is. And I did listen to it a few times, but like it just kind of felt like it kind of dragged on a little bit. And I'm not saying it's bad; it's still enjoyable. But like I just didn't feel like I was connecting as much with it. And there's also a fair amount of Spanish, so I was disconnected from that as well. But it was still a fun song to listen to. I enjoyed it. I appreciated it, and I liked that there was a clip of them thanking like the crowds in like a live clip of them thanking people in both English and Spanish at the end. I thought that was like a nice way to like end it, and felt a little bit more like I was getting another connection to them again. So I appreciated that. I gave this one a 4.10 on 5.
I don't agree with it. This song is particularly interesting from a conceptual point of view because it kind of brings temptation to light. Like, temptation come knocking, this is what he said. Come inside and ride, it's time to flow your head. I got pictures of all your dreams. I got the inside track to all your pleasure-filled screams. I give you plant, craving for misbehaving. Have you talking to yourself, flipped out for not worth saving. Out on your 2 o'clock mission, chasing the dragon. I'm what you got, you claiming, hanging and sagging. So almost line by line here. It's like sex, drugs, gang violence, etc. On this song, even in the Spanish part, I just kind of popped into the translator. It flows through with a similar tone, but just describing different forms of temptation and how seducing it pops into your mind, but using the different things that they see around him. Like, you can see it in his eyes. This is the Spanish part. He's got net reds with the demon. It's all right if you don't meddle. Look, you got the pistol. Get ready. What you want is another pussy. Don't despair if you like the dirty one. Choose the one that you want if you like its fruit. Advance in whatever cachitos is until it consumes you to tender hell, and weak is the fraction corrupts the rest. So you get the sense it's the same kind of thing, presenting the context of temptation and then more of the disastrous stuff, and then it flows into like that third verse where it kind of feels like you like get pushed onto more extreme things, only to kind of end out where said there ain't no man too big or small. When he came around, rocking they all gonna fall. I set my mind straight, waiting for battle at dawn. Been fighting 26 years long, keeping it on. Put my head to the heavens and I close my eyes. Tears but no cries when the sunspot rise. Put my sins in a row, forgive me so. I know where I'm my OG, where my life force go. It just kind of feels like the end of this death situation because of all the bad actions and shit. And I'm like, wow, that's a pretty cool story to really end it. And I thought it definitely wasn't a B-side to me. It was pretty deep. I don't know. I give it a 4.5. I think that the last few songs picked it right back up to that same energy at the beginning part of the album. And so, yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
All right. What'd you give it overall?
I gave this album basically a 4.5. There was like one that went above, a couple that went a little under, but yeah, to me it's a classic, like a real, like, this is some shit more people should hear about, should know about, should listen to. The production is the real star of this album. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know that if the production had been somebody else that it would have been as stellar, but every song just worked.
Yeah.
Every beat just hit. Everything was interesting to listen to, sounded different enough to stand out, placed in a good order. Both of these dudes, Yves and Kimo, were rapping proper. I love the mix of Spanish. I love the storytelling. I love the pictures they paint, the wordplay. I think this is real MCs doing what they're supposed to be doing at a time where maybe because of the Spanish, they got kind of downplayed and got no love. I don't really know.
I don't think so, because like if this came out, you know, at 1999 or whatever, this was like the hype of Spanish sound. Like this was Ricky Martin and Jennifer Lopez and Enrique Iglesias and stuff.
Shit, that's not hip hop.
Well, I'm just saying, Spanish was making a thing, making a comeback.
I look at it like, yeah, maybe that's what kept them from getting there. Maybe people didn't understand it. There was no genius in Google Translate to break it down. Either way, I fucking loved it, and I'm really happy that I got to hear this project.
Yeah, I give this a 4.26, so it's an 85%. So it's sort of like a cleaner, more hippie version, a little bit of like Cypress Hill. So if you like them, check this out. Like that, you're going to enjoy it. And like it still kind of has that same sort of, you know, they're still talking about streets and drugs and, you know, whatever else, but still with like these like killer like Latino vibes. If you don't know this, and like, you know, if you do speak Spanish and English and you don't already know this, like this is like a perfect song for you to listen to because you're going to understand everything. And I think I'm going to go back in like the summer, like when I'm walking down the street, probably trying not to dance to this album, just to like listen to it and kind of get like a more like summery vibe instead of like, you know, cold ass winter. But it was very good. I was very impressed with this. Thanks for like asking for this one. This was a good one to choose.
That's right. Thanks, Ismail Gadamsi. Thank you all for watching too. It's really awesome that you stuck through it and watched this and you care what we think and want to have a conversation with us. All of you who do hit up the comments, you're the best. Special thanks to the patrons. This is Mel Gadamsi, Linda Williams, Super Old School 1994, and Chris Prado. They support what we do. They want to help us grow, get better equipment, like a nicer camera, you know, nicer shit, make it look prettier. All the good stuff that you do when you grow. And they support us. And because of that, if you get to join the request pool, like this episode, where once a month we pick from Patreon, and then when you sign up, the following month we'll do one that is your request no matter what, on top of that extra episode. And as that list fills up a bit more, we'll start doing 2 a month from Patreon. On top of that, you'll get access to content early when we're on time with shit, and we'll be moving into a couple more things soon to kind of maybe give some more perks. We're just trying to figure out the best route to go at this point. Anyway, if you don't want to do that, feel free to hit that nice glaring red subscribe button right at the bottom, whatever, and make it turn white so it's not in your face anymore. And then you can join us like that. You can hit that like button or that dislike button if you didn't feel it. And you can leave us a comment joining us, and I'll answer you because we're not famous enough that I can still answer all the comments. So yeah, let us know what you think. And I also dropped a project recently on Spotify. So if you want to check that out and let us know, or let me know what you think, that would be super cool as well. The link to all that shit is in the description. And let's follow up and catch another interesting review next week. Peace.
Bye, guys.